One of my favorite parts of the airport experience is the lounges. I don't really like to cook food at home, so the free food that comes with the airport lounges saves me from having to spend money eating out. Add in a cup of coffee that you would drink anyways, and you're golden. Today we're looking at 4 of the best cards that offer airport lounge access as a perk. This is part 1 of a 2-parter, and we're purely focused on American Express. Main reason being that they have the best lounges that normal people can access. Big favor, give us a thumbs up if you like coffee, and if you know anyone else that might benefit, share this with them. Okay, one of the big qualifiers I want to start with is that these are good lounges, but there are better ones. If you're willing to pay, if you're flying international first in business, or if you have status and you're flying internationally, then there are more exclusive options. So for example, if you're out of either LA or Atlanta, there's PS. You are paying $750 to almost $1,100 per visit, but that might be your jam. If you're flying Emirates first class, then you can go to the Emirates Lounge. A lot of these are still buffet style, but you're not fighting as many people for a seat. And to be fair, the buffet items do look a lot better. United also has some of the best lounges via the Polaris network, but it is gated to international business class flyers. Also, this does not include international short hauls like Canada or Guam. Speaking of United, if you have United Gold status, you also have Star Alliance Gold, which means that you have access to their lounges. As you can tell, there is a giant rabbit hole if you are a super user. For normal people though, what are the best options? First one, and my go-to recommendation, is the American Express Platinum. There is a $695 annual fee, but you also get up to $1,400 in credits to help you offset this. Some of the credits are not useful, but some are. For most people, 200 Uber, 200 hotel credit via FHR hotel collection, 200 airline fee credit, 100 Saks, and 240 digital entertainment are the most tangible. In total, that's $960, and if you can use 4 of the 5, you should be golden. Okay, so what do you get? You get access to one of the more comprehensive lounge networks. Looking at the 10 busiest US airports, they have lounges in 7 of them. Dallas, Denver, LA, New York, Vegas, Miami, and Charlotte. Atlanta, which is the busiest airport, is getting a lounge in 2024. The only ones that don't have a lounge are Chicago and Orlando. Even for 11 to 20, they cover a lot of ground. They have 5 out of the 10, Seattle, Phoenix, SF, Houston, and New York. EWR, which is number 13 on the list, is getting a lounge in 2026. Even if you look internationally, they're doing pretty well. They have lounges in 2 of the top 5 busiest airports, London and Hong Kong. In the past, there were a lot of complaints about overcrowding. They did address this by changing their guest policy in early 2023. It still can be problematic in the smaller airports like Seattle or even Vegas when it's busy, but a lot of the bigger ones, I find that it doesn't run to that problem. For example, SFO has been pretty calm after the renovation. Maybe your experience is different if you're flying on a Monday morning when all the other consultants are flying. In terms of food, I would argue that the Centurion Lounge has the best options outside of the first and business class options. And to be fair, it does depend on your bar. As someone that eats pretty normal food like burgers and burritos, it seems pretty good. If you regularly have omikases and Michelin star meals, then maybe a skip. In my experience, the international lounges have better food and also ambiance. Even if you're not in the Centurion Lounge footprint, you have a lot of other options. For example, the Platinum card can get you into escape lounges, which service smaller airports. I've been to the one in Oakland and it's pretty good. Also Delta Sky Clubs when you are flying Delta. Note that you are capped at 10 visits per year per Platinum card that you have. There is a bit more to this, but we'll talk about it a bit more with the Delta Reserve. The Platinum card also gets in the Plaza Premium lounges, which are okay and kind of on the bad side domestically and in Canada, but pretty good in Hong Kong and Asia. Lufthansa lounges are pretty solid if you are flying within their group. Last one is Party Pass, where you and 2 additional guests can go in, so let's say you, your player 2, and their friend. If you travel and you care about the lounge experience, I would argue that the Platinum card is pretty up there and it's S tier. If you are debating it but you're on the fence, I'd strongly recommend running the numbers. We do have a calculator if you Google Ask Sebi Platinum, worth it. There is a lot going on with the card, so you do really want to quantify things to make sure that it makes sense for you. Also, if you are going for the Platinum, I'd recommend checking Card Match to see if you are targeted for the 150k offer. As of right now, that's the historic high and the one you want. We have a full blog post walking through how to try and get this, and I'll also link it down below. With that said, if you do want to learn about the Platinum or any of the other cards we talk about today, and you want to support the channel, we do have links on the website, asksebi.com, and also down below in the description box. Make sure the links are competitive, but otherwise, it is a huge way to support the channel, so thank you guys in advance. One of the other options that people love is the American Express Delta Reserve. As someone that has the card, I have reservations about recommending it. Ignore the Octopus card. You do get a ton of perks for Delta, like first checked bag for free, and also access to complimentary upgrades and 15% off award bookings. The most valuable quantifiable perk is the Companion Certificate, and you can think of this as a once-use, buy one get one, but with a lot of catches. You also do get this every anniversary, so after the first year, year 2, year 3 onwards. For me and probably most people, the Platinum's credits, even though they're annoying, are a lot easier to get value from and more quantifiable. Nothing wrong with the Delta benefits, but just harder to use. The main draw for the purpose of lounge access is that you get 15 visits to Delta Sky Clubs when you are flying Delta. The Platinum is 10 and the Delta Reserve is 15. Also, any visits within the 24-hour period starting from your departure city is going to count as one visit. Even if you're doing a same-day round trip, you could use lounges both outbound and return. For example, if I'm going from SFO to LAX, I can use the lounge at SFO and when I land at LAX, and then let's say I have some business there, and then when I come back from LAX to SFO same day, that afternoon, or maybe that night, I can use lounges at both spots. In that case, even though I'm doing 4 visits, it would still count as one. So even though the Platinum's 10 doesn't sound like that many, that covers about 5 round trips, about a trip every 2 months. Okay, back to the Delta Reserve. You get access to the Centurion Lounge and it's unlimited. There's not a 15 limit here, but you do need to be on a Delta flight booked through the Delta Reserve card. Not sure if they actually check this, but that's in the terms. Basically, if you're not a Delta flyer, then it's pretty hard to justify this card. It is a solid option though if you are in a Delta hub like New York, Atlanta, LA, Detroit, MSP, Boston, Seattle, Paris, Cincinnati, or Salt Lake City. Or funny enough, even for me out of SFO. In my case, United has a pretty strong stranglehold of about 50%, about half the flights out of SFO are United. Delta is only number 3 at 8%. If you are a frequent traveler and you're going after status, you don't really want status with the biggest airline in your airport. In my case, when I had United Platinum, I would never get upgrades because there's too many people of 1K, so pretty much the Platinum equivalent, and also global services. Even my friends with 1K, which is the Diamond equivalent for Delta, complain that they don't get upgrades because there's way too many people of GS. So the meta, if you are going after status, is going to be number 2 or number 3 for your airport, so you're not fighting the consultants. Even if you do 1 trip a month, you're not beating the consultants that are flying every single week. Okay, back to cards. What if you don't want the Platinum card and you also don't fly Delta? The American Express Bonvoy Brilliant is one of the more interesting picks. It is a hotel keeper card but has priority pass. I can do a deeper dive in a future video, but super fast, $650 annual fee, $300 dining credit broken down into $25 per month, Bonvoy Platinum status, and 1 free night award up to 85k Bonvoy points. If you are someone that's more of a city traveler, you're probably breaking even with that free night award. If you do aspirational travel and don't mind topping off with additional points, you're probably coming out ahead, and in that case, it's a keeper card. Keeper cards are ones where the tangible benefits, like free night awards and credits, outweigh the annual fee. Even if you are just breaking even, there is an argument for the card. Let's say you break even on the other perks, but you're getting priority pass. This works for airport lounges and allows you entry and 2 additional guests, the same exact way as the Amex Platinum. So you and 2 of your best friends. If you don't like the coupon book of the Platinum card and you want an American Express card, this is probably your best bet. The last option is the American Express Green. $150 annual fee, but you have 2 credits to help you with this. The first one is a 189 credit for Clear, which I've personally grown to love. If you don't have pre-check, you still need to take stuff out, but it's pretty convenient. Obviously, it depends on your airport and how many other people have this and whether it has it at all, but oftentimes, at least for me, it allows me to skip about 30 to 100 people. Mandy and I are a bit weird, so I sometimes race her in the non-pre-check line while she does the pre-check with Clear, and sometimes I beat her. If you don't have pre-check or if you haven't renewed it, then this is pretty solid. This card also comes with a $100 Lounge Buddy credit. Lounge Buddy is pretty much the Yelp and the open table for lounges. It was acquired by American Express back in 2019, and they have been trying to integrate it more. For normal people, it might be a good way to get your feet wet to see if you even care about lounges and to see if it's useful. And to be fair, some of the lounges are pretty solid and are otherwise business class lounges. So the same ones you would get access to if you were flying Lufthansa business. If you are a super user that either has priority pass already or you have the Platinum card, then it gets a lot tougher. You still might be able to find value, but you have to find that sweet spot. This is an ongoing question in the frequent flyer community. The Plaza Premium First Class Lounge in Hong Kong is probably the best option and a pretty nice lounge. We actually featured it in a prior video when we compared the Sapphire, Centurion, and the First Class Lounge in Hong Kong. The reason we had access that time was because we were flying China Airlines business, but otherwise we wouldn't have been able to go in. If you're someone that has priority pass but you don't have a Platinum card, then maybe Lufthansa lounges or escape lounges. I think for most people though, your best bet is going to be the Platinum card due to all the access. It's S tier in my book and the king of lounge cards. Bonvoy Brilliant being a good alternative if you are into hotels. Again, if you want to learn about cards, we have links on the website, AskSebby.com, and down below in the description box. If you made it to this point, leave a whiskey glass in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and also respond. 2 questions for you. Number 1, what's the best American Express card for lounge access for you? And number 2, what's been your favorite lounge experience? Is that due to a flight delay, great service, or something else? Let me know and everyone else know in the comments down below. Big favor, thumbs up, consider subscribing, but otherwise hope you liked it. See you next time.